It's Monday the 15th of December from the MEN newsroom. This is Channel M's Lunchtime News and these are today's headlines. Tribute to a TV icon, the Greater Manchester actress most famous for playing Nora Batty has died.
She did a lot for the community. She was always available for opening of events and would bring her celebrity connections here.
Also this lunchtime, raided the Indian restaurant investigated by immigration staff.
Can't get a drink, can't get food. It just feels like a police state.
And what now after Friday's landslide no vote against congestion charging?
I'm not in a position today to say what's going to happen. Clearly the problems about transport in this conurbation remain very, very serious indeed.
Good afternoon. First this lunchtime. She's been described as a national institution. Tributes are being paid to the Duckenfield actress Cathy Staff, best known for playing Nora Batty in Last of the Summer Wine. She died over the weekend at the age of 80 after being ill for some time. It's not yet been decided if the show will return for a 30th series. Her co-star Peter Sallis, who played Norman Clegg in the show, says he's terribly upset. She was a regular churchgoer here in Greater Manchester. We've been speaking to the priest in charge of the church she went to.
Cathy was born a Higginbottom, and both the Higginbottoms and the Hartleys have got very long connections with Duckenfield. She was very proud of that and continued that line of loyalty and support to her local community. So there's a wider family here in Duckenfield, and she did a lot for the community. She was always available for opening of events and would bring her celebrity connections here. She always remained in touch with Duckenfield. She was always loyal and supportive and proud of it. And likewise, the local community here were very proud of her. She celebrated her 80th birthday in July, and the town threw her a party to thank her and celebrate her 80th birthday. And we're glad that although she was ill, she was able to enjoy that and thank them and receive their gratitude for all that she's done for Duckenfield.
The actress Cathy Staff, who died at the weekend at the age of 80. There's a prediction that we're only halfway through the current fall in house prices. The head of Barclays Bank is predicting the total drop in price will be around 30%. If he's right, it means by the end of next year they could lose another 10 to 15%. He's also forecasting a jump in unemployment rates to as much as 7.5%. A hospital baby unit in Bury's been handed £250,000 thanks to ITV's telephone voting scandal. A cheque's been presented to Fairfield baby Lifeline by Coronation Street actress Jane Danson, who plays Leanne Battersby. Her baby son Harry was cared for there, and she chose the charity as her good cause when she appeared on Soap Star Superstar last year. She was wrongly thrown off the programme in the first episode when a fifth of the votes weren't counted. She initially raised just over £4,000 for them. The money will be used for new equipment and to refurbish the wards. 21 people have been arrested after immigration staff raided one of Manchester's most famous Indian restaurants. The operation follows an investigation into claims of illegal working at Akbar's on Liverpool Road in the city centre.
Intelligence has been received that there's a number of illegal workers working here, possibly also students that are working in excess of the permitted hours. The staff have gone into the kitchen. There's a basement exit that a number of the chefs have tried to get through very quickly, should we say, and have been stopped by covering officers.
I've come out because I'm really annoyed. We've come up for a birthday party. It's such an overkill, you know? Such an overkill. There's huge guys, body armour, black suits in every aisle. People sitting there, can't get a drink, can't get food. It just feels like a police state.
And there's big fines for people who are employing people in the UK illegally. Anyone who's here illegally here tonight will be arrested.
A driver's died after losing control of his three-wheeled kit car in Bolton. The man was travelling along Beaumont Road in Lostock when he crashed into a lamppost. Firefighters had to cut him free from the wreckage, but he died at the scene. The council spent £3 million on improvements there in 2003 after the area was named one of the town's worst accident black spots. A man's been charged with murder after a 26-year-old woman from Ashton-under-Lyne was killed over the weekend. Marta Jakutz, who's originally from Poland, was found stabbed to death at a house in Warrington on Friday night. Her family say she was a wonderful mother who will be sadly missed. Gregors Borowy, who lives on Stamford Street, is due to appear at Tameside Magistrates Court. The funeral's taking place of a teenage model stabbed to death at her Greater Manchester home more than a month ago. Amy Lee Barnes was found injured at her home in Farnworth in Bolton on November the 8th, but died later in hospital. She'd appeared in several magazines and the soap Hollyoaks. 22-year-old Ricardo Morrison, who's originally from Birmingham, has been charged with her murder. Now, ask people what improvements they'd like to see from their police, and one of the most common answers is giving them more time on the streets and less in offices doing admin. Well, now a new high-tech electronic fingerprint scanner could do just that. It lets them check who they're speaking to while they're out and about, and could save them plenty of time as well, as Ben Bland's been finding out.
Now, when police have needed to check people's identities, they've had to get them down to the police station and do it the old-fashioned way. But thanks to these new devices, they can now do it while they're out and about. Chief Inspector Hayden Roberts is here to demonstrate one for us. Hayden, can you just show us how this works?
This is one of the Operation Lantern devices, and it's as simple as this to take your fingerprint. Simply press that button, and that asks the system to go into capture mode. I'd now be asking the suspect to touch that piece of glass with their fingerprint, and within seconds that fingerprint would be analysed, and we would either be confirming that person's identity or establishing that it was false.
And what kind of a difference does this make to your day-to-day work when you're out and about?
It makes our officers much more efficient. We're finding that by using this device on each encounter, we're saving around 40 minutes. So that means that an officer is on the street for far longer, visible, fighting crime.
And what sort of situations does it really come into its own?
This is particularly helpful where we've got career criminals who'll give some thought to a set of false details that they'll hope will throw the police off their trail. With this device, we've identified people who've moved to Manchester using false details and were wanted for attempted murder. That's within a short period of using this device.
And can people refuse to give their fingerprints on this?
We require a person's consent, but certainly if we're prosecuting somebody and they won't consent to go on this device, that raises our suspicions. So again, we try and confirm their identity by some other means, but if we couldn't do that, we'd then be arresting them.
OK, Chief Inspector Hayden Roberts, thanks very much. Now, Greater Manchester Police is one of the first few forces in the country to be using these devices, and if all goes well, you can expect to see them being used right across the country within the next year or so.
The first working day of the new West Coast main line's been hit by delays. Commuters were promised more seats and faster journeys, but instead they were hit with a string of cancellations on the route from London to Scotland that goes through Greater Manchester. A track circuit problem's being blamed. £9 million has been spent on the improvements. The maximum amount members of the armed forces who are injured in service can get in compensation has been doubled. It now stands at £570,000 and is being paid out retrospectively. That means an extra £10 million will be given to 2,700 troops who've already been given payouts. Right, let's take a look now at the sports headlines with the details. Here's Mike Bradley.
Thank you, James. And I guess the less said about Manchester City at the moment, the better. Saturday's 1-0 home defeat against Everton has seen the Blues drop to fourth bottom in the Premier League, following a run which has seen them take only 5 points from a possible 24. That's led to increased speculation this morning over the long-term future of Mark Hughes. That's a story we'll be keeping a close eye on should it develop later this week. United, meanwhile, are in Japan preparing for Thursday's FIFA World Club Championship fixture against Gamba Osaka. And boss Alex Ferguson is looking forward to being the first English team to win the format of the trophy.
Because normally we're playing every third day back in England. So this is a good opportunity for us to get the team all together in a serious competition, because no British team's ever won it. And it's a big challenge to us. Of course, we won the Intercontinental when it was against Palmeiras back in '99, and we were the first British team to do that then. hopefully we can get other success for us. And it's a very difficult tournament, also different from what we're used to the last time, but hopefully we can handle it.
And Gary Neville has been at pains to stress the trip to the other side of the world is not a holiday.
I don't think it's a break. I mean, we're going over there and playing 2 matches in, I think, 7 or 8 days, so I don't think it's a break at all. I don't think we can see it as a break as players. We're going to go over there and, you know, be professional and do our job, and that's, you know, win football matches. And like I say, it's a big tournament for us to win, so it's a good relief in the way that we've got a trophy to play for, because usually in December you wouldn't normally get a trophy to play for, so that's important for us and different. But I wouldn't say it's a break for us. Obviously it's a break for playing in this country, but it's not a break as in go over there and put your feet up. Unless the boss asks us to.
And staying with football, and Bury are up to second in League Two following Saturday's 3-0 home win over Port Vale. And following the game, we got the thoughts of Shakers boss Alan Knill.
Never think it's going to be an easy ride. Always cautious, but it was just really good. It's good to watch the players. You know, when they play with freedom and express themselves, then we're a decent team, a real decent team. We've got some really good technical players, and today they did that. And, you know, it doesn't surprise me that the result is 3-0 at half-time. Now the next one is Bournemouth, and can we take something at Bournemouth? Be a tough game, but we're capable. We've showed that already. I think we're unbeaten. We've lost 1 away from home. So, yeah, it'll be a tough game for Bournemouth, I hope. I'm confident in the team. Obviously, you know, we're not even halfway. And it's good that we're there, though. And, you know, we've come from, I think when I walked in, we were 3rd bottom, and now we're 2nd top in 41 games, I think. So it's been a fantastic effort, and now obviously the thing is, can we keep it going? But we're trying our best.
And a little lower down the footballing pyramid, Curzon Ashton entertained Chorley in the Unibond League, and our cameras were there to capture what turned out to be quite a game.
Touch on from Worsley's a good one. Cross comes in beyond everybody. Barker surely, and does. Barker, 2-0. Still going, gets his cross in towards Barker. It's a fine save on his near post from Collins. That could have been the hat-trick. Ogu! It's the 3rd goal for Curzon. They could be in for more here with Whelan. Oh, what a finish that is as well. It's a wonderful Curzon goal. Gets Curzon on the counter-attack here. Shot comes in and they have scored.
Finally, for now, congratulations to the Manchester Magic basketball team. They're through to next month's National Cup following yesterday's 98-88 win over Brixton, and to the Manchester Phoenix, who beat the Basingstoke Bisons 8-3 at the Altrincham Ice Dome last night. That's it from me for tonight, but there'll be more news, sports news in our bulletins at 5 and 9 o'clock this evening. James.
OK, Mike, thank you very much for the update. Now, over the past 2 weeks, we've been entertaining you with this year's entrants in our Christmas choir competition. This weekend, the voting lines for all 10 of them were reopened as we broadcast our Christmas choir special, and now we can reveal this year's winner. The votes have been counted up and checked, and the school with the most votes is St Peter's C of E Junior School in Lee. Huge congratulations to them. This is their song, Can I Pull a Christmas Cracker?
Children in the choir, they work very, very hard each year. They give a lot of their own time up. I wanted the children to have some recognition for all the hard work that they do. And I felt that to go in the competition, they would really, really enjoy being filmed.
Merry Christmas from St. Peter's C Junior School! Yay!
Well, a big well done once again to all our entrants, but in particular our winners, St Peter's Junior School from Lee. They'll be visiting our studios at Urbis later this week to perform their song and collect the coveted Christmas Choir trophy. Still ahead on the Lunchtime News then, the Christmas turkeys getting delivered by taxi, and we look at what happens next after Friday's landslide no vote against congestion charging.
I'm not in a position today to say what's going to happen. Clearly the problems about transport in this conurbation remain very, very serious indeed.
As well online at channelm.co.uk. On there right now, all the reaction to Friday's referendum result and a new campaign against drink driving as the party season intensifies. That's at channelm.co.uk. Next, the Children's Minister Beverly Hughes has been in Greater Manchester highlighting the problem of child poverty. Her visit follows the announcement in the Queen's speech that laws were to be brought in to formally record the government's commitment to ending the problem. She's been speaking to those people here in the North West who will be key to helping achieve that.
In some communities around here in Manchester, for example, there's 65% of children are in workless families, and there'll be poor families. You don't feel the same at school, you often can't afford the same kind of clothes, you can't go on school trips, you may yourself have physical ill health, you won't be achieving the same as other children at school. Children on free school meals are not achieving the same, not because they're not as intelligent, but because the cumulated effect of living in a poor family, unable to give you the opportunities that other children have, means that you're not reaching your potential, and that will last with you throughout your life. And yet I think with health and children's services, we can do so much more if we work together.
Supporters of the plan to bring in congestion charging here in Manchester are now working out what happens next. The plans were rejected in Friday's landslide referendum vote. It means the area now looks like missing out on billions of pounds of investment for public transport. So what does happen next? We've been asking Salford MP and Communities Minister Hazel Blears.
I was certainly a supporter of taking action, and I think many people didn't realise that the charge wouldn't come in until 2013, that the vast majority of the public transport improvements would already be in place, and I think it's unfortunate the way in which the campaign has been run, but I still think we've still got the problems. We've got to find a way forward. I'm not in a position today to say what's going to happen. Clearly the problems about transport in this conurbation remain very, very serious indeed. And my priority is to make sure we get the traffic moving so that those extra jobs which our economy needs, particularly at this moment, can come to Greater Manchester.
Police are looking for 3 gunmen who burst into a house and stabbed the owner with a machete. The attack happened on Friday night when a man answered the door to his home on Croftgates Road in Middleton. The gang were disturbed by the sound of nearby police sirens and ran off. A man's in hospital after spending the night on the roof of a nightclub in Tilsley. Several roads around the building had to be closed. Police managed to get him down earlier this morning and he was taken to the Royal Bolton Infirmary. Inspectors have congratulated Wigan Council for its children's services. A report found they exceed the minimum standards required and are rated overall as good, which is a 3-star award. Ofsted says the council's made good progress in helping youngsters, including making sure they stay safe, be healthy and make a positive contribution. Next, Christmas shopping means big queues everywhere, even at the butchers. But now a butcher in Glossop has come up with a way of avoiding the wait. Turkey taxis.
After customers have been shopping perhaps for the last month with all the Christmas presents and things they've been doing, the last thing they want to do is probably get outside a butcher's shop for 3 hours in the freezing cold. And this is a way of alleviating that from them, and they can sit in the comfort of their homes with their family waiting for the turkey to arrive. We do try to keep people amused like while they're having to wait, but obviously everything's at the last minute, everything's got to be as fresh as possible, so there's only so much you can pre-prepare. So I think this year they've got the option, they can wait or they can wait in their house.
I think it's a good idea actually. We've been coming here for what, the last 10 years. Normally here about 7 in the morning, leave at about 9. So anything that can alleviate that would be most welcome really. So yeah, it's a good idea.
Well, it's been a very crisp winter's morning so far. Let's take a look at what the rest of the week's got in store with the preview. Here's Michelle Eagleton.
well, it has been rather chilly this morning. We had a fair bit of ice across some higher ground areas. It seems to have cleared in most places, but we are still seeing some very, very heavy clouds, and it's going to be dismal for the rest of the day. I hate to be the bearer of bad news for you, but the good news is that it will stay mainly dry as well, so no sign of any rain out there. Highs are between 3 and 4 now. It'll feel quite a lot chillier than that because there is a strong wind that's going to plague us this afternoon, so make sure that you do wrap up nice and warm if you are going to be heading out of the door fairly soon. This evening though, it's pretty much the same picture, no change at all, although the next couple of days we are going to see some of that rain kick in. There'll be some showers expected tomorrow and Wednesday, and some outbursts of sunshine just mixed in there for good measure. Highs tomorrow are going to reach about, I'd say, 5 degrees and 9 degrees on Wednesday. It is increasing, so Thursday is going to be a quite pleasant 11 degrees despite some of the showers we're going to see, and Friday a real mixed bag for the start of the weekend.
Let's return to this Lunchtime's top story now, and she's been described as a national institution. Tributes are being paid to Duckenfield actress Cathy Staff, best known for playing Nora Batty in Last of the Summer Wine. She died at the weekend at the age of 80 after being ill for some time. It's not yet been decided if the show will return for a 30th series. Her co-star Peter Sallis, who played Norman Clegg in the show, says he's terribly upset. She was a regular churchgoer here in Greater Manchester. We've been speaking to the priest in charge of the church that she went to.
Cathy was born a Higginbottom, and both the Higginbottoms and the Hartleys have got very long connections with Duckenfield. She was very proud of that and continued that line of loyalty and support to her local community. So there's a wider family here in Duckenfield, and she did a lot for the community. She was always available for opening of events and would bring her celebrity connections here. She always remained in touch with Duckenfield. She was always loyal and supportive and proud of it. And likewise, the local community here were very proud of her. She celebrated her 80th birthday in July, and the town threw her a party to thank her and celebrate her 80th birthday. And we're glad that although she was ill, she was able to enjoy that and thank them and receive their gratitude for all that she's done for Duckenfield.
The actress Cathy Staff, who died at the weekend at the age of 80. You're watching Channel M's Lunchtime News. Our other main headlines this afternoon. 21 people have been arrested in an immigration raid at an Indian restaurant here in Greater Manchester. Officers targeted the Akbars in the city centre over the weekend. Police are introducing high-tech electronic fingerprint scanners that can find out if someone has a criminal record. It's hoped it'll give them more time on patrol rather than in offices working on admin. It's predicted there could be further falls in house prices. The head of Barclays Bank is predicting they could go down by a further 10 to 15% between now and the end of next year. More on those stories in our early evening news later on. That's with Andy Crane from 5, but from me and the rest of the Lunchtime team, have a very good afternoon. Bye-bye for now.